This meeting is being recorded.
Good afternoon, my name is Jim Conlan and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. As you know, each week we premiere a new movie or TV series that is debuting in Ireland and the UK for this upcoming month and this upcoming week. And up for discussion this week, it's Valentine's week. Tomorrow is February the 14th, and what a better way than to talk about Valentine's week to sum up our last of our upcoming movie premieres, to talk about a real sort of a love story as such, but a love story with a sort of a twist, dare I say. What Comes Around is coming out on cinemas all across Ireland, nationwide on February the 17th. It stars a young, dynamic cast, the likes of Summer Phoenix, Grace Van Dien, Kyle Gallner, Jesse Garcia, and our special guest this evening. She plays the character Ashley in the movie What Comes Around, Sierra Nicole Rose. Sierra, delighted to speak to you this evening, and we were talking so far about Devil's Peak that is out this week. We spoke to Robin Wright earlier on today in terms of the show. We spoke about Oleg Prudis, about The Whipping, which is an action movie coming out on the February the 17th. So it's great to end our week talking about an actual sort of a love story, dare I say, in terms of What Comes Around, but a twist, I do believe.
I would say so, but you can't really anticipate what twist, which is fun.
And dare I say, is there a bit of horror built into this in terms of the title would sort of suggest so? Have we got a Scream type of an element to this?
I would definitely encourage everyone to watch it first and decide for themselves if it's something horror related, but I would say that it is thrilling, it is intense, it is very intense, and it is uncomfortable at times, for sure.
And tell us about your character, Ashley, in terms of What Comes Around. What's her sort of role in this sort of movie? Is she the girl sort of support sort of network? Is she very much involved in this sort of maybe love triangles that go on in terms of this movie? Or is she sort of dated with maybe bad vintage interests at heart or good interests? What's her role, dare I say?
So bless Ashley. She's very sweet. She's a part of Anna's friend group. So that's her support system. So she's part of her support system. But unfortunately, they're not always super nice to Ashley. Ashley's kind of on the outskirts of the friend group, but she definitely is very observant of what's going on. And she's a little bit concerned, I would say, about Anna's relationship.
Okay. And in terms of that relationship, is there a bit of, she concerned about the volatile sort of nature in terms of what goes along in terms of this adult? Is it more worrying for her sort of safety, or is there a bit of jealousy at heart there as well?
I would say elements of both, yes. She's a little jealous that maybe the boy that she's more interested in might not be as interested in as he is with Anna, unfortunately. But I think she is a little bit on the outskirts still of what her relationship is, the relationship between Anna and her boyfriend is. So I think she desperately wants to know what's going on, but really isn't part of that conversation.
And Sierra, in terms of your involvement in the movie, was it your regular audition sort of process? Were you recommended by a talent agent? Did you go in, read for the script? Was there many callbacks? Was it the audition was a natural process, or was it done through these taped auditions that we see now on the wake in the aftermath of Zoom and the aftermath of COVID?
It was definitely the new style of auditioning after COVID, all through Zoom or doing self-tape. So that's new for me, but also everybody else. So we did the Zoom callbacks, and I was able to meet with Amy Redford over the phone, which was so exciting, and I loved working with her. But I would say it was a pretty typical audition process. I was introduced through an agent at the time, and they were looking for auditioning for people in Utah. So fortunately, I was able to do the audition process that way and get to work through the production by living in the state of Utah too.
And you mentioned about the production in the state of Utah. So obviously, a good lot of the filming was done in Utah, was it? So they were looking for local sort of talent. So were you able to commute every day from home to work? And dare I say, there was no actual sort of extra costs involved?
I did spend a few days of production staying in it's a rectory, which is a building, part of a church where the priests live, I think. And that was interesting. That was the most interesting Airbnb I've ever stayed in. So I was able to stay a little closer to production rather than home. And I know that Sundance just happened or is happening currently. And that was all in the same area of where a lot of filming happens in Utah, in the Park City area. So I was able to be in that area for the filming.
And in terms of the filming of the movie, was it a sort of a short production? Were you looking at 48 weeks, or was it a bit longer? Was it 8 to 16 weeks of a shoot?
I'd say 4 to 8, yes.
Okay. And
so
then,
a smaller
yeah,
production,
keep going. Yeah, keep
I
going.
would just say it was a shorter production. People were very on top of it. I came in, I think, for a week and a half, and I was able to spend a week and a half on that production. So.
And in terms of your character, in terms of what they were sort of looking for, the sort of role, had you your sort of an idea in terms of how you were wanted to play, or had you that bit of creative freedom? Were you able to put your own thoughts and idea in terms of the directors and producers, in terms of an angle that you make you feel, right, I can put this sort of twist on her, that bring her that sort of Sierra sort of spice, dare I say, in terms of what you saw on the page, in terms of putting that sort of your own bit of twinkle into her?
I would say that Amy definitely gave me a little bit of wiggle room on Ashley. And she was able to let me kind of play around with her a little bit. I know that originally the character design, she wanted her to be a little bit more, I'd say, grungy or a little bit more intense. And I just kind of decided to maybe let Ashley be a little bit more young and hopeful and a little bit romantic. And so we were able to have fun with it and pull it back and make her a little bit younger, make her a little bit more naive, and it was fun. It was fun to be able to include that high school element and really make her feel like they're in high school. And I think that's important considering what's happening in the story. I think it's important that we remember how old these girls are, 16, 17. They might feel like they're older and they might feel like they're grown, but they're definitely not. And that is important for this story.
And dare I say, I don't want to come across rude or something like that, but I'm not going to guess your sort of age, but in terms, what's it like playing a 16 or 17-year-old? I imagine you're a woman yourself in your mid-20s, so later 20s, dare I say. What's it like playing a 16 or 17-year-old sort of teenage girl? Do you have to sort of can you get into that sort of groove or mood straight off, or do you have to sort of does it sort of take time to sort of reminisce with that sort of age?
I love playing teenagers. I'm not gonna lie. I like being a teenager. I like remembering what it's like to be in high school, and I think it's not too hard to get back into that headspace. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot.
And Sierra, I imagine with 2023 now, the industry is opening up a good lot. Opportunities are coming out. It's a busy sort of audition process. Have you any other projects in the pipeline that might be coming our way here in Ireland and the UK that you have been involved in there recently, in terms of movies or TVs which you've shows or guest appearances that you filmed that might be hitting our way here in Ireland and UK later on in 2023 towards the back end of the year?
I'm not aware of anything coming out in the year of 2023 thus far. However, that does not mean that there won't be towards the end of the year. We'll just have to see. I'm hopeful.
I imagine there will be many guest appearances coming our way, Sierra. Sierra, I imagine you've traveled the world. Have you ever done their shows here in the Emerald Isles here in Ireland, or is it on your bucket list?
Very close. I was very close. I was going to go to Ireland on my trip. I went to all over Europe in 2017, and that was on my itinerary. It was very hopeful, but we didn't end up being able to go. However, Do I intend to go to Ireland very, very soon? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, we're delighted to welcome you here on Irish Style when that opportunity does come around, Sierra Nicole Rose. And Sierra Nicole Rose, for the last 30 seconds now, you might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should go out in mass, why they should travel in their cars, bikes, tractors, dare I say, to the cinemas on Friday. Get get into cinema, get on the recliner seats with their popcorn, their Pepsis, their Maltesers, put their feet up, watch what comes around, and what's in store for them.
Twists and turns that you will not anticipate. If you love a good thriller, you love a good mystery, I definitely encourage going to see this one. You will be made to feel strong emotions. This is a story that you are not going to expect what comes. What comes around will come around. And I'm very excited to hear what they think, and they're able to connect with many of the characters. I think everyone at least can sympathize with all of the characters in some capacity, especially the leads. And I really think Grace and Kyle did a fantastic job of portraying a relationship that I think a lot of people can relate to, unfortunately, but that's a good conversation to have. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation. And I think Amy did a fantastic job.
On that
Very
note,
excited.
Sierra Nicole Smith, near Sierra Nicole Rose, we can see the excitement jumping off your face there in terms of talking about what comes around. We're no doubt it's going to be a smashing success, debuting in cinemas all across Ireland and the UK on February the 14th. Do check out for Sierra Nicole Rose's character. She plays the character Ashley. And what comes around we do wish you do come around to us in Ireland in the near future. Hopefully you can get back and set foot on the Emerald Isle. Hopefully, please God, we can talk to you sometime again in the near future. But for the moment, Sierra Nicole Rose, stay safe, take care, and God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, Sierra.